What would you sacrifice for a stranger's child? Amara Okonkwo never imagined she'd face that choice until a rainy October night changed everything. The clock reads 2:53 a.m. at Chicago Memorial Hospital. Rain pelts the glass doors of the ER entrance. Amara's shift ended half an hour ago, but paperwork always takes longer than it should. Her nursing clogs squeak against linoleum floors. Her braids are pulled back tight, the same way her mother used to wear hers back in Lagos. She reaches for her coat, an old trench her aunt gifted her years ago, the one with deep pockets and a hood that actually keeps water out. Her aunt always said a good coat wasn't just protection from weather, it was a shield you could share. Then she hears it. A sound that cuts through the drumming rain. Sobbing. Desperate. Young. Amara doesn't hesitate. She grabs the coat and pushes through the doors into the downpour. Cold October rain soaks through immediately, but she keeps moving toward the sound. Behind the overflow dumpsters she finds him. A small boy no older than 5, crouched against the brick wall. His clothes hang on his frame, soaked and torn. His tiny fingers clutch something metallic at his neck. When their eyes meet, she sees pure terror. "Hey there, little one," Amara says softly, holding her coat open like wings. "You're okay now. I've got you." He doesn't respond, just shivers violently. She wraps the coat around him and lifts him up. He's frighteningly light. She carries him back inside where warmth and fluorescent lights assault them both. Marcus, the night receptionist, looks up with immediate concern. "Amara, what's going on?" "Found him outside. Alone. He needs immediate care." Marcus shakes his head slowly. "You know what happens when you bring in strays. This gets complicated fast." He's hypothermic and scared out of his mind. Nothing complicated about that. In the examination room, Amara works efficiently. Warm blankets. Careful assessment. The boy still grips that metal object at his throat. A pendant on a silver chain with characters she doesn't recognize. She doesn't try to remove it. "What's your name, sweetheart?" His mouth opens but nothing emerges. She checks him methodically. Core temperature dangerously low. Heart racing. No obvious wounds, but he recoils when she touches his left shoulder. Someone hurt him before tonight. That much is clear. She starts in 4, administers warm fluids, speaks in soothing tones. "You're safe here. Nobody's going to hurt you anymore. Promise." His grip on the pendant finally relaxes enough for her to see it properly. Intricate Korean symbols etched into silver. And one letter in English. The letter K. When his breathing evens out and color returns to his cheeks, Amara pulls up a chair. Policy demands she call Child Protective Services. But something makes her pause. Her aunt's voice echoes in her memory. "When God puts a soul in your path, Amara, you don't turn away. You become the answer to their prayer." She studies this child who looks at her with eyes that have forgotten how to hope. Eyes that expect disappointment. "You'll stay tonight," she whispers. "Rest. Get warm. Tomorrow we'll sort everything out." "Okay." After a long silence, he gives the smallest nod. Amara watches him drift to sleep and makes a quiet vow. "If nobody claims you, I'll be here." 3 days become a week. Nobody comes forward. Amara spends every spare moment making calls, completing forms, speaking with overworked social workers juggling impossible caseloads. Chicago PD runs his photo through every missing child database. Nothing appears. No alerts, no desperate families searching. This child might as well be a ghost. On day 7, a caseworker named Janet Williams meets Amara at a diner 2 blocks from the hospital. Janet's in her 50s, compassionate but exhausted by a broken system. "Here's where we stand," Janet says, stirring cream into coffee. "Our foster network is completely overwhelmed. Placements are taking 2 months minimum right now. He can't remain at the hospital indefinitely. Administration's already raising questions about liability. What are his options?" Amara asks directly. "Temporary group facility until a foster home opens." Janet reads Amara's expression and sighs heavily. "I understand it's not ideal, but those are the realities we're working with." "What about emergency kinship placement?" Temporary guardianship agreements. Janet studies her carefully. That requires a qualified guardian willing to undergo screening. Do you have someone in mind? Amara draws a deep breath. Me. Can do it. The words surprise even her. Janet's eyebrows lift. Ms. Okonkwo, that's a major undertaking. I know exactly what it means. Amara's voice steadies. I spent 6 years in foster care myself. I know what happens to children who disappear into the system. I won't let that happen to him. Janet holds her gaze for several heartbeats, then nods slowly. All right. Let's begin the process. 2 hours of paperwork later, Amara receives emergency temporary guardianship approval. By evening, she's buckling the boy into her aging Honda. He sits in the back, still clutching that silver pendant, still silent. Through the rearview mirror, Amara observes him watching the city lights streak past. You need something I can call you, she says gently. Just temporarily until we discover who you are. He looks down at the pendant in his small hands. She glimpses it in the mirror. Those Korean characters. That single English K. How about Kofi? She suggests. Just for now. Would that work for you? His eyes meet hers in the mirror. After a moment he nods once. Kofi it is then, Amara says with a warm smile. Welcome home, Kofi. Her apartment is modest. 700 square feet on Chicago's south side. 1 bedroom that becomes his. A couch that converts to her bed. A kitchen where 2 people can barely pass each other. She shows him around slowly, letting him absorb everything at his own pace. Bathrooms here. Hot shower whenever you want one. And this room, this is yours now. The room is simple but clean. A window overlooking the street. A twin bed with a green comforter. Bare walls waiting for personality. Tomorrow we'll get you proper clothes, Amara tells him. Tonight this will have to do. She gives him an oversized t-shirt from a college she never attended. It hangs past his knees like a nightgown. He looks impossibly small wearing it. That first night Amara cooks jollof rice. Nothing elaborate. Rice, tomatoes, spices, fried plantains. She sets the small table with care. 2 plates, 2 forks, 2 glasses of water. She lights a candle usually reserved for power outages. Soft light dances across the walls. Kofi emerges from the bedroom slowly, cautiously, as if unsure whether he's permitted. He climbs onto the chair that's slightly too high for him, feet swinging above the floor. He stares at the steaming plate before him, the red rice glistening, the sweet plantains golden brown. He looks at it like he's forgotten what a prepared meal means, or perhaps he never knew. Go ahead, sweetheart, Amara encourages. It's okay. He picks up the fork with trembling hands, takes a small bite, then another. Then he's eating rapidly, protectively hunched over his plate like the food might vanish. Amara doesn't comment on his eating habits. She simply eats her own meal slowly, giving him dignity and space. Weeks flow into months. November shifts to December. Holiday decorations appear throughout the neighborhood. Temperatures drop. And gradually, almost imperceptibly, Kofi begins emerging from his shell. He starts saying thank you when she makes breakfast. He responds with nods when she asks questions. One morning she discovers him humming softly while drawing at the kitchen table. The social worker conducts home visits, documents everything favorably. Background screening comes back clear. Temporary guardianship extends to 6 months. Kofi begins drawing constantly. Amara buys him crayons and paper, and he fills page after page. Houses with gardens. Families holding hands beneath sunshine. Birds in trees. Safe normal things. Amara teaches him to read. Every night after her shift, regardless of exhaustion, they sit together on the couch sounding out letters. Sunday moon. He learns quickly. This boy is intelligent. By February he's reading basic books independently. One evening in early April, nearly 6 months after she found him, Kofi looks up from his drawing of a tree fort. Late afternoon sun streams through the window. Mama, he says quietly. Amara freezes at the stove, her hands still wet from rinsing vegetables. For a moment she thinks she misheard. Water runs. The refrigerator hums its familiar song. She turns slowly, pulse accelerating. What did you say, baby? He meets her eyes with those dark depths that have witnessed too much. His voice is uncertain, hopeful. Can I call you that, Mama? Something cracks open inside Amara's chest. Not painful but like a dam finally breaking. She crosses the room in 2 strides, dries her hands quickly on her jeans, and kneels before him. Yes, she whispers, pulling him close. Yes, my sweet boy. Yes, you can call me that. He wraps small arms around her neck and holds on like she's his lifeline. Amara closes her eyes and allows the tears to flow freely. For months she's maintained professional composure, done what needed doing. But this moment dismantles every wall. This child she rescued from the rain is choosing her. Not through biology or legal obligation, but through something more profound. 'Cause she showed up. 'Cause she stayed. That night, after Kofi sleeps, Amara truly examines the silver pendant he finally allowed her to clean properly. The engraving becomes clearer now. Korean characters flowing in beautiful curves. And beneath them, in Roman letters, Kyungmin. On the reverse side, barely visible, is a symbol. A phoenix rising from flames. She turns it over in her hands, feeling its weight. This pendant is expensive. Genuine silver. Expert craftsmanship. The kind that comes from wealth, from heritage, from a world far removed from her own. She should investigate, should try discovering what that symbol means. But she's not ready yet. Because once she starts searching, everything might change. So she places the pendant in her jewelry box for safekeeping and closes the lid. For now he's Kofi, her son. That has to be enough. If you're finding meaning in this journey, consider subscribing. These are the stories we share together. Stories about the families we choose, not merely the ones we inherit. 2 years pass like sand through fingers. Kofi turns 8 that October. He chooses chocolate cake with peanut butter frosting. Amara invites 4 classmates from his 3rd grade class and Mrs. Washington from next door who bakes him cookies every weekend. It's a good life they've constructed. Modest but meaningful. Amara transferred to a community health center 18 months ago. More reliable hours, predictable scheduling. She's home when Kofi's school bus arrives. Dinner together nightly. Bedtime stories and homework assistance. Kofi flourishes. He's grown 5 inches. His face has filled out, lost that haunted quality. He laughs now. Genuine laughter that transforms his entire being. He has friends who visit for video games. He has a teacher who recognizes his artistic talent. He still has nightmares occasionally, but they come less frequently now. Amara has almost convinced herself they're safe. That 2 years of silence means whoever abandoned him has moved on. She's catastrophically mistaken. It unravels on a Wednesday in November. Kofi's 8th birthday is 2 weeks away. Amara's at the clinic treating a patient when her phone vibrates. To school. Her stomach drops before she answers. Ms. Okonkwo. Principal Rodriguez sounds strained. We have a situation. I need you here immediately. What kind of situation? Is Kofi hurt? He's not injured physically, but Ms. Okonkwo, he's missing. He was waiting for the after-school program pickup. 2 men in a black vehicle approached him. According to witnesses, they showed him something, possibly a photograph, and he went with them willingly. Like he recognized something, Amara finishes, her voice hollow. We've contacted authorities. Well, the word emerges sharp. Call them back. Explain it was a misunderstanding. Custody confusion. Ms. Okonkwo, I can't do that. Please trust me. If you involve police, you'll endanger him further. Silence stretches. You have 1 hour. Amara hangs up and immediately dials Detective Sarah Chen, a contact from her hospital work. They took him, she says when Chen answers. Kofi. 2 men. Black vehicle. About 45 minutes ago. She hears Chen curse softly. Where are you now? Driving toward the school. Don't go to your apartment. I'll meet you there in 15 minutes. Chen arrives in 12. They sit in her unmarked sedan while she pulls up surveillance files on her tablet. I've been monitoring activity related to this case for 2 years, Chen says quietly. 4 months ago, someone connected to a Korean organized crime network spotted a boy matching your son's description at a youth soccer league. Same approximate age, similar build. The operative photographed him from distance. She shows Amara a grainy image of Kofi kicking a soccer ball. Another of him laughing with teammates. They've been watching you both, Chen continues. Watching Kofi, attempting to confirm his identity. I've tried tracking their surveillance, but I must have missed coverage. So this crime boss took him, Amara asks. Possibly, but there's another scenario. She swipes to a different photograph. A man in his late 40s with graying temples. This is Kong Do-hyun. He was second in command. There's been escalating tension between him and the boss. If Do-hyun discovered the boy was alive before the boss could act, he'd use him as leverage. Or eliminate him. Chun looks at her seriously. That number I gave you 2 years ago when you first asked me to investigate that pendant. It's the boss's direct line. If anyone can retrieve Kofi safely, it's his biological father. Amara's hands shake as she retrieves the card she's kept for 2 years. She dials. 1 ring. Then a deep voice. You left me money 2 years ago, she says. Her voice steel over terror. $10,000 and this number. Someone took the boy I've been raising. I want him back now. Oz, your son. The boy I've cared for since he was 5. Kyungmin. Whatever name you use, bring him back. Ms. Okonkwo. The voice turns colder. I did not take my son. But I know who did. If you want him alive by morning, meet me in 1 hour. Come alone. The line disconnects. Her phone buzzes. Text message. Silver Moon Korean Barbecue. Private room. PM. Come alone. Amara drives to Koreatown as the sun descends, painting Chicago's skyline orange and crimson. She parks 3 blocks away and walks. Silver Moon is upscale, intimidating. Frosted glass windows, private entrance. A doorman in black who opens the door without question. Inside, the restaurant is elegant in a way that makes her feel out of place. Dark wood, ambient lighting, tables concealed behind screens. The smell of grilling meat and unfamiliar spices. Another man in black leads her past the main dining area. They proceed down a corridor lined with private rooms. He stops at one marked hammock and slides it open. The room is intimate. A single low table in the center set for 2. Paper screens on the walls depicting mountains and cranes. And at the far end, standing with his back to the door, is a man. He's tall, broad-shouldered, wearing an impeccable black suit. His hair is dark, styled simply. On his hand, a silver ring engraved with a phoenix. When he turns to face her, Amara understands why people follow him, why they fear him. Min Jae-sung is striking in the way dangerous things are beautiful. Sharp features, strong jawline, dark eyes that reveal nothing. His face could be carved from stone. There's no warmth, no vulnerability, just controlled power. But around his neck, tucked beneath his collar, she glimpses silver chain. Another phoenix pendant matching Kofi's. Ms. Okonkwo. His English is flawless with barely any accent. Please sit. Where's my son? Amara doesn't move. He's not with me currently, but he's unharmed for the moment. Please sit. We need to talk. We'll stand. Something flickers across his expression. Surprise, perhaps. Very well. He gestures to the man who escorted her. The man bows and leaves, closing the door. Now it's just them. Let me be direct, Jae-sung says. His voice calm and measured. The boy you've been raising is my son, Min Kyungmin. He was taken from me 5 years ago during an attack on my family. His mother, my wife, was killed. I believed my son died with her until 4 months ago when one of my people saw him at a soccer match and recognized the pendant he was wearing. The pendant I gave him at birth. He was abandoned, Amara says flatly. Left to die in the rain. He was stolen during a coordinated assault on my family. Jae-sung's jaw tightens. My home was destroyed. My security eliminated. My wife murdered. My son taken. I spent 2 years searching. Thought he was dead. Amara pulls the silver pendant from her pocket and sets it on the table. This pendant with your organization's symbol. It marks him as a target. It marks him as my family. Mayor. Your world killed his mother, Amara says, her voice shaking. Nearly killed him. And now you want to drag him back into it. Jae-sung is silent for a moment. When he speaks, his voice is quieter. You've cared for him remarkably well. I've had reports for 4 months. He's healthy, thriving. You've given him something I never could. A normal life. I gave him the only life he deserves. And I'm grateful. He meets her eyes. But he is still my son. My blood. The last piece of my wife. And I've lost too much already. I won't lose him again. Amara steps closer. You say he's your son. Fine. But I'm the one who held him through nightmares for 5 years. I'm the one who taught him to read, to trust people again. I'm the one he calls Mama. She leans forward. So here's what's happening. You're going to tell me where Kofi is right now. Then we're going to get him back together. Not because you own him, but because we both love him. The silence stretches between them. The room feels suffocating. Then impossibly, Jae-sung smiles. It's slight, barely there. But it transforms his face entirely. You're braver than most of my operatives, he says. And they're trained for combat. Please, Ms. Okonkwo. We have much to discuss about our son. And very little time. This time Amara sits. They talk for nearly 2 hours. Jae-sung tells her everything. His wife, Soo-yeon, came from a respected family. Their marriage was arranged initially but grew into genuine love. She understood what world she was entering. She believed love was stronger than fear, he tells her. His fingers tracing the rim of his teacup. She thought she could help me become better. Could she? For a while she made me want to be better. For her. For Kyungmin. His voice roughens. Then they took her. Killed her. Took my son. I searched for 2 years. Children disappear in this city every day. Until 4 months ago. He nods. One of my people saw a boy at a soccer match. My age. Wearing a silver pendant with my family's symbol. He photographed him, showed me, and I knew instantly. So why didn't you take him then? Amara demands. Why wait 4 months? Because I needed to know who had him. If you were connected to my enemies, if this was a trap. He looks at her directly. So I had you investigated. Your background, your work history, everything. And what did you discover? That you saved him because that's who you are. Not for money, not for advantage, simply because a child needed help. Something shifts in his expression. You have no idea how rare that is in my world. Every kindness has a price. But you're exactly what you appear to be. Amara feels something shift in the room. This dangerous man looking at her with recognition. Respect. Where is Kofi right now? She asks again. Jae-sung's face hardens. That's the problem. This morning my people were positioned near his school. Protective surveillance. But another team extracted him before we could intervene. You're saying you don't have him? Not yet. But I know who does. He shows her a photo. Kang Do-hyun. He was my second in command for years. There's been conflict between us since I took leadership after my father's death. Conflict about what? About everything. Strategy, methods, the future. But primarily about power. Jae-sung's eyes darken. Do-hyun believes I'm weak. That my efforts to legitimize operations, to reduce violence, constitute betrayal. He's been building his own faction, waiting for opportunity. And Kyungmin's reappearance gave him that opportunity, Amara says, understanding crystallizing. Precisely. If he kills Kyungmin, he eliminates my heir. Proves I can't protect my family. Undermines my authority. Or he could use him as leverage. Force me to step down. Either way he wins. Where is he holding Kofi? My people tracked the vehicle to a warehouse near the shipping district. One of Do-hyun's properties. He's planning to move him tonight. We intercepted communications about a boat departing at midnight. Then why are we sitting here? Amara's on her feet. Let's go get him. It's not that simple. Do-hyun has resources. Armed men. If we move incorrectly, Kyungmin dies. So what's your plan? I have people positioned monitoring communications. But I need someone I can trust. Someone who won't betray me or use this for advantage. Everyone in my world has ulterior motives. But you simply want him safe. That's all I've ever wanted. Then I'm asking you to come with me. To help me retrieve our son. 'Cause we share the same goal. Amara stares at this man. This criminal. This father. This complicated human being. One condition. After this, I remain part of Kyungmin's life permanently. Real co-parenting. Equal authority. Can you agree? Jae-sung doesn't hesitate. You saved him. Raised him. Loved him when I couldn't. You'll always be his mother. I don't want to take him from you. I want us to share him. Give him both worlds. Something in Amara's chest loosens. Then let's go get our son. They ride in Jae-sung's car, a black Mercedes with tinted windows. He drives. No bodyguards, just the two of them moving through the Chicago night. Tell me about him, Jae-sung says after a silence. Who he became while I wasn't there. So Amara tells him everything. Kofi's first words after months of silence. His passion for drawing. His fear of thunderstorms and how she sits with him during every one. His terrible jokes that aren't funny but she laughs because hearing him laugh is worth everything. He's kind to everyone, she says finally. Even children who aren't kind in return. He just keeps being kind. That's the most remarkable thing about him. After everything he chose goodness. Jae-sung's hands tighten on the wheel. Suyeon was like that also. Too good for my world. I used to worry that my life would corrupt her. But she never changed. His voice drops. She would have loved who he became. She would have loved you for raising him. Why did you bring her into this world if you knew it was dangerous? I was born into it. I didn't have a choice. But she chose me anyway. Said every person deserves someone who sees their humanity. He glances at Amara. She sounds remarkably like you. They drive in silence for a while longer. The city gives way to industrial zones. Warehouses and shipping containers and cranes silhouetted against the night sky. Finally Jae-sung says, you asked why I didn't approach you immediately. Why I waited 4 months just watching. The truth is I wasn't ready. After Suyeon died, I shut down completely. Emotions made you vulnerable. Love made you weak. So I became cold, efficient. He's quiet. But seeing him in that soccer match laughing, I realized I'd been living like a dead man. And I didn't know how to come back to life. Being a parent doesn't wait for you to be ready, Amara says softly. You just do it because they need you. You make it sound simple. It's not simple. It's terrifying. Every day I wake up afraid I'll fail him, that I'll make the wrong choice. She looks out at the passing landscape. But you show up anyway. You stay. You love them even when it breaks your heart. That's all parenthood is. Jae-sung is quiet for a long time. Then thank you for raising him when I couldn't. For showing him what genuine love looks like. For being the mother he deserved. His voice roughens. I can never repay that debt. But I'll spend the rest of my life trying. Tears burn in Amara's eyes. She simply nods. They reach the warehouse district as fog rolls in from the lake, thick and cold. The air smells like oil and rust. Red safety lights glow in the mist. Jae-sung parks 2 blocks away, killing the engine. He reaches into the console and pulls out a handgun. Amara's stomach turns. I don't want that anywhere near my son. Neither do I. But Do-hyun will be armed. His men will be armed. He checks the weapon efficiently. Stay behind me. If shooting starts, get Kyungmin and run. Don't look back. Don't wait. Just get him safe. What if something happens to you? He pulls out a second phone and presses it into her hand. 1 number programmed. Turchin. She knows about tonight. If I don't make it, she'll get you both into protective custody. You've been coordinating with law enforcement. I've been cooperating with Chen for months. Providing information. Building a case. Tonight ends all of it. The organization, the violence. After tonight I'm done. But first I get my son back. Amara pockets the phone, her heart hammering. This is insane. But the system didn't save Kofi 5 years ago. She did. And she's not about to fail him now. They move through the warehouse district on foot, staying in shadows. Jae-sung navigates with confidence. This is his domain. But it's not Kofi's world. Not anymore. They reach a warehouse with broken windows and graffiti tags. Black SUV sits outside. No visible guards, but Amara feels eyes watching. Jae-sung pulls out his phone and texts someone. His phone buzzes. He reads it and his face goes hard. For men inside. Do-hyun and 3 operatives. Kyungmin is on the second floor. Office at the end. He looks at Amara. This is your last chance to leave. That boy in there is worth everything. Every risk. Now let's go get our son. For the first time, Jae-sung truly smiles at her. I'm beginning to understand why he calls you Mama. They enter through a side door. Inside, the warehouse is vast and dark, lit only by scattered emergency lights. Shipping containers stacked like building blocks. The air smells of oil and decay. They locate a staircase. Metal rusted, creaking. Every sound feels amplified. At the top, a long corridor with offices. Most doors open, empty. The end, one door closed. Light spills from beneath it. Jae-sung moves silently. Amara follows, every nerve screaming. They reach the door. Jae-sung holds up 3 fingers. He kicks it open. The office is small and grimy. 3 men positioned around the room, all armed. And in the center, sitting in an oversized chair, Kofi. He's wearing his school clothes, grass-stained from recess. His hair is messy. His face is pale but composed. When he sees Amara, his eyes widen. Mama, he whispers. Kofi. Amara starts forward, but Jae-sung catches her arm. Because stepping from behind the desk is a man Amara recognizes from photos. Kang Do-hyun is in his late 40s, distinguished looking with silver at his temples and an expensive suit. His eyes are cold, calculating. On his right hand is a silver ring engraved with a phoenix. Right on schedule, Jae-sung. Do-hyun says in accented English, almost pleasant. And you brought the nurse. How touching. Such a heartwarming display of unity between you two. The boss and the bleeding heart united by affection for a child. Let him go, Do-hyun, Jae-sung says quietly. His gun is raised, steady. This is between us. But that's where you're mistaken. Do-hyun walks over to Kofi and places his hand on the boy's shoulder. Kofi flinches and Amara sees tears he's fighting to hold back. This boy is everything. He's your weakness. As long as he exists, you'll never be the strong leader we need. The organization doesn't need heartless leaders, Amara says suddenly. Needs to be dismantled. This whole system needs to end. Do-hyun laughs. The nurse has opinions. Tell me, Ms. Okonkwo, do you have any comprehension what you've walked into? How much blood is connected to this child? I know he's a child who deserves better than this. That's all I need to know. How touching. The nurse and the criminal united by he doesn't finish. Jae-sung fires. The shot is deafening, but it doesn't hit Do-hyun. It takes out the ceiling light, plunging the room into darkness, lit only by red emergency lights from the corridor. Amara moves on instinct. Years of emergency training override everything. She dives toward Kofi's chair, grabs him, pulls him down. His body is shaking, but he's alive. Close your eyes, baby, she whispers, shielding him with her body. Don't look. I've got you. Gunfire erupts. Muzzle flashes strobe the darkness. Glass shatters. Someone screams. The smell of gunpowder fills the air. Amara drags Kofi across the floor toward a metal filing cabinet. She covers his ears with her hands, presses his face against her chest. Feels endless. Probably lasts less than a minute. Then silence. Amara. Jae-sung's voice cuts through. Are you hit? Oh, we're okay. Kofi's okay. Emergency lights flicker on, dim and red. Jae-sung stands in the center, breathing hard. A cut on his cheek bleeding. Do-hyun is on the ground, clutching his shoulder. Weapon gone. One guard unconscious. Another fled. The third is slumped against the wall, gasping, clutching his side. Blood seeps between his fingers. Amara's medical training overrides everything. Kofi, stay behind this cabinet. She rushes to the injured man. He's young. His eyes are wide with fear. Gunshot wound to the abdomen. Critical, but survivable if she acts fast. I need something to stop the bleeding, she calls. Jae-sung strips off his jacket and throws it to her. She presses it against the wound. The man gasps. Stay with me, she tells him, falling into calm competence. Keep breathing. Look at me. I've got you. She does rapid assessment. Entry wound. No exit wound. The bullet is still inside. He needs surgery immediately. Call emergency services, she tells Jae-sung. Anonymous tip. They'll send paramedics and police, but we'll be gone. Jae-sung makes the call. Then he crosses to Kofi, who's peeking out from behind the cabinet, eyes huge. Kyung-min, Jae-sung whispers, crouching. His voice breaks. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry you had to witness this. Kofi stares at him. Then his small hand reaches into his pocket and pulls out his pendant. He holds it up next to the one Jae-sung wears. They are identical. You're him, Kofi says. His voice small and wondering. You're my real father from before. Jae-sung nods and a tear escapes. And I've been searching for you for so long. I thought I'd lost you forever. Kofi looks between them, confusion and fear warring. But Mama is still your mother. Jae-sung says firmly. Nothing changes that. She saved you. She raised you. She loved you when I couldn't. He bows his head deeply. And I owe her everything. We both do. Amara finishes wrapping the wounded man's abdomen. He's stabilized for now. Sirens wail in the distance. She crosses to them and kneels beside Kofi, taking his trembling hand. Family isn't just blood, Kofi. It's the people who show up, who stay, who choose you every day. She looks at Jae-sung, then back at Kofi. We're all your family now. Kofi starts to cry. Deep wrenching sobs. Amara pulls him into her arms and Jae-sung wraps his arms around both of them. They kneel on that dirty warehouse floor. A nurse, a criminal trying to become better, and a child who survived everything. And they hold each other. We need to leave, Jae-sung says quietly before authorities arrive. He picks up Kofi gently, carefully. Kofi is exhausted, trembling but alive, safe. They slip out as the sirens converge. By the time police arrive, they're gone. In the car, Kofi falls asleep almost immediately. His head in Amara's lap. She strokes his hair and feels Jae-sung watching them in the rearview mirror. Thank you, he says quietly. For coming, for being brave, for saving that man's life. Thank you for keeping your word, for protecting him. They drive in silence, carrying their son home. Detective Chan meets them at Amara's apartment. She looks tired but relieved when she sees Kofi sleeping. Do-hyun's in custody, she says quietly. The man Ms. Okonkwo treated is in surgery. Stable condition. Doctors say she saved his life. And I've got enough evidence to dismantle the organization. She looks at Jae-sung. You understand what this means. The prosecutor will want full cooperation. Names, operations, financial records, testimony. No. Jae-sung looks at Kofi in Amara's arms. It ends tonight. All of it. The organization, the violence, the legacy my father left. All ends. He nods. You did right tonight. Getting the boy out, protecting Ms. Okonkwo. That counts. I'll give you tonight. Tomorrow we start the formal process. After Chen leaves, they go upstairs. Jae-sung carries Kofi to his bedroom and lays him gently on the bed. Amara removes his shoes and pulls his blanket around him. They stand in the doorway watching him. What happens now? Amara asks quietly. Jae-sung runs a hand through his hair. He looks exhausted, human. Now I spend the next year cooperating with the investigation, testifying against people who were my father's allies, dismantling an organization that's been part of my family for 3 generations. He meets her eyes. But before all that, I want to do something right, something good. What do you mean? I have money that's completely legitimate. Investments separate from the organization. I was thinking a foundation to help children affected by organized crime, gang violence, abuse. Kids like Kyung-min who get caught in adult choices. Give them counseling, education, safe housing, real chances. Tears prick Amara's eyes. He would love that, knowing something good came from all this pain. It won't undo the harm. I know that. But maybe it's a start. He looks at his hands. Maybe it's how I become someone my son can be proud of. And me? Mara asked. Where do I fit? Wherever you want. Jae-sung's voice is earnest. You're his mother. That's not negotiable, not temporary. Real, permanent legal adoption with both our names. Equal parenting. I'm not taking him from you. I want us to raise him together. Something in Amara's chest loosens. Not as who you used to be. As someone willing to change, to do the real work. All of that. However long it takes. She extends her hand. Then let's figure this out together. He takes it. Together. 6 months pass like pages turning. Jae-sung keeps his word. The organization is systematically dismantled. He testifies in multiple trials. The prosecutors offer him a deal. Community service, 5 years probation, cooperation, no prison time. He uses his legitimate assets to establish the Phoenix Rising Foundation. He hires licensed therapists, social workers, mentors. He rents a building on Chicago's west side. He shows up every day. And every evening he comes to their apartment for dinner. Becomes routine. Jae-sung brings groceries. Amara cooks. Kofi sets the table. They eat together talking about normal things. Kofi thrives. He starts calling Jae-sung Appa, tentatively at first, then naturally. He teaches Jae-sung about soccer and superheroes. Jae-sung teaches Kofi about his Korean heritage. They go to therapy with Dr. Kim, navigating this unusual family. You're creating something unprecedented, she tells them. There's no blueprint. You're writing your own story. One Saturday, Jae-sung takes them to a Korean cultural center. They learn traditional drumming and make paper lanterns. Kofi's face lights up, discovering his heritage. Later, walking to get frozen yogurt, Kofi holds both their hands. I like having 2 parents. Is that okay? Amara asks, her heart in her throat. Kofi thinks seriously. I have nightmares sometimes, but mostly I'm just happy. That evening, Jae-sung says carefully, I've been thinking. The foundation is growing. We need more space. And my apartment, it's not a home, just a place to sleep. He stops walking. Maybe we could find a place together. A house big enough for all of us. Separate spaces but shared spaces for family. Kofi's eyes go wide. Like a real house with a yard. Exactly like that. Amara meets Jae-sung's eyes. Bae. Let's do it. Slow steps, clear boundaries. However long it takes. They find a house in Hyde Park. 3 bedrooms, a yard with a maple tree. Moving day is chaotic and perfect. Kofi runs through empty rooms. Amara unpacks. Jae-sung assembles furniture, making sure Kofi's room is perfect. That night they order pizza and eat on the floor. Later, sitting on the back porch, Jae-sung says quietly, "Thank you for this chance." Amara leans her head on his shoulder. "Thank you for doing the work. He's my son. You're his mother. You're my family. There's nothing more important." 3 months later, the adoption hearing is held in a bright courtroom. Judge Patricia Williams presides. A woman in her 60s with kind eyes. Amara Okonkwo and Min Jae-sung stand before her. And between them stands Kofi. He's dressed in his best clothes. He holds both their hands. The hearing is simple. The social worker's report is glowing. The background checks complete. Dr. Kim submitted a letter supporting the adoption. Judge Williams reviews the paperwork, asks Kofi gentle questions. He answers clearly, confidently. Yes, he understands. Yes, this is what he wants. The judge signs the papers. "I've presided over hundreds of adoptions," she says, looking at them. "Rarely do I see a family built with this much intention and love. You 3 are truly remarkable. May you continue to grow together." They walk out as an official family. Both names on the certificate. Equal parents. That evening they celebrate at home. Kofi chose the menu. Homemade pizza and apple pie. After dinner, Jae-sung pulls out a velvet box. "I have something for both of you. Inside are 2 necklaces. Kofi's original phoenix polished and a new one. A phoenix carrying a lotus flower. The phoenix represents rebirth. Jae-sung explains, rising from ashes. The lotus represents new beginnings, beauty from darkness. He looks at Amara. "You grew something beautiful from my past." He fastens the necklace around her neck. The pendant rests over her heart. Then he gives Kofi his original pendant. This is yours, not as a reminder of pain, but as a symbol of survival. You carry both worlds. Your Korean heritage and your African American home. Both families. That makes you stronger. Kofi touches his phoenix. Will you tell me about my first mom sometime? She was brave and kind like your mama Amara. She would be proud of you. And she would love your mama for raising you with so much love. I think she'd be happy, Kofi says seriously, that you found mama. That we're all together. Jae-sung pulls him close. Think so too. They clean up together. When Kofi's in bed, Amara and Jae-sung sit on the porch. Do you ever think about that night? Amara asks.